Hey, what's going on, everyone? Nick here from Velocity Trading, and I just want to go over a quick recap of the trades from today. Pretty good volatility the past few days. Yesterday, CREX went on a really nice rip. Today, CAPR, kind of that hot play of the day, and I believe on Monday we had YECO. So it's been some good volatility in this market, some good opportunity on the short side and on the long side. So let me run over these trades and show you guys, what I did today. So CAPR first trade. This is my second trade of the day, but I'm on it now, so I'm gonna go over it first. CAPR. Here are my charts from it. I know it's a little far out here. I gotta look to fix this. So I was getting in there. 510s, 520s over on CAPR. Started in there at 520s, adding as I saw these dips start to hold. So I was really adding more size. After I saw this dip right here hold. So I was planning on this first attempt here. Hindsight 2020, but I was a little frustrated what happened on my first trade, and I lost a little attention on CAPR, and didn't really look to scale in as well as I should have, and that did ultimately hurt me in the end here because I did get stopped out after I sold my first bunch. So was, like I said, scaling in 520s, added a little bit more after this dip held, and was selling into this 570 mark, and sold 50%, right? And the goal and the rest was a parabolic over 6, and it worked out so nicely, which it does stink, but overall, I stayed disciplined, right? I stayed disciplined, had a 520, around a 520-ish average. So I said, if this comes back down to $5, I gotta be disciplined and cut it, right? This could easily come back down to 470s first and then retest, and I can't let a green trade go red on me. So, I had to unfortunately stop out, right? So I made some money on that first sell, made about 50 cents. Second one, lost around 10 cents on it, and just unfortunate, right? It held. Definitely looked weak here. They made it look weak. Look at the volume. Big hands came in, soaked it back up, and they ripped it on up on CAPR, right? This is a low float stock. They had a really good catalyst. They're showing good results. I think, it was 6 patients, but still, had a good catalyst there. I know newsletters were hitting it like crazy today, but overall, look at the volume, guys. 8 million in float stock. We're trading 87 million shares. It's 11:30, so crazy the volume on this thing, on this play. I don't know what's going on with my level 2 here, but yeah, just incredible volume on it, on CAPR, and like I said, I think I should have did a little bit better of a job scaling in here. I realized the volume was massive on it, knew the potential was there, but just it didn't scale. I saw 480s was rejecting. I really started to pay attention around 940 on it, and thinking maybe we're gonna retest back down. Showing a lot of weakness there, 480, 490s, but that's what they do, right, guys? They have big hands, big money, like the trap, show weakness, and then, do the opposite of what you think. And what the chart was saying, indicated wanted to go higher. Volume was definitely indicating it wanted to go higher. And was just getting in there. I wouldn't say I was late. I was playing, more of the higher edge trade, but wasn't able to scale full size and didn't have that flexibility, right, if it came back down on my trade, right? Could I have added, on a dip? I could have, but, didn't want to let a green trade go red. And, overall, it was an okay trade on CAPR, but definitely could have capitalized a little bit more. But overall, I think I played it well. I'm happy with my risk management on it, right? Because it could have easily gone the 470s and, then ripped from there, but it didn't, ended up holding $5. So, that was it. And you see it squeezed on up, and right, and it should, right? Look at the volume on it. So we always like to go over volume analysis and study volume, and clearly, volume was here, and it was here in a big way. So not surprising to see CAPR squeeze like this. So yeah, that was the trade on that. Next, CREX was my other trade from this morning. Let me pull up the charts on this one. This was, a really nice trade on CREX for me. Just, I scaled it beautifully. Just the only thing I did wrong was, not even I just had an error. I had a fumble on my orders, right? I accidentally covered all of it. meant to cover half, and missed out on like a 5R. I still nailed like a 3R on it. It was still a good trade. I mean 3R is nice, but it could have definitely been a 5R. If I didn't have that mistake. So what do we have here? CRX. We had a big squeeze yesterday, right? Nice traps. Shorts are comfy. All day on this one. Coming into the close. Looked weak. Shorts probably thinking it's gonna hit 150s. They had no reason to cover right there. No reason to cover. Then boom, PR came out. Massive volume came in. I wish I was at my desk at this time. I wasn't. I know some traders in chat nailed it. Great job yesterday on the long. And squeezed all the way up, right? Shorts were in a big bind yesterday and after hours. Squeezed all the way to $5. And I was kind of thinking, all right, I think shorts are exhausted. I think a lot of them are out. They're really going to have to, retrap again. And, if I see volume in the morning, big volume and the bids are there, I'll avoid it. But if I see that the bids aren't kicking, volume's not there, I'm interested in potential short. And that's what happened, right? So opened up pretty weak early on. No bids, lack of liquidity, really, right? And this is what I want to see on these day two fades, right? These back holder shorts. Want to see that low volume. Want to see that lack of, not too much of a lack of liquidity, but I don't want to see bids, right? I don't want to see big hands. I don't want to see big money here. And I saw the weakness this morning, and I was interested to join, right? So I was joining here. Got in a little early there, 355s, but goal was to risk all 4. And I had some set ads, if I ever got back up to 375 and 380, which it did. If it didn't, I was going to look to add, as these lows started to fail, and then add 325s, and then, looking for that 280 target. Or, the second option was, if we come up to 370, 380s, I look to add there around 30%, right? So still in, relatively small, right? No reason to be in, full size, until your thesis confirms, right? We've been talking about that. No reason to start in. Early starters should be early starters, right? You shouldn't be, max size or even half size. That's not a starter position, right? I see so many people getting in almost their full size in their first entry, and, if it's an early starter, if you're claiming it's an early starter, it should be, early starter to me is like 25% or less, so, yeah, so this was an early starter. It was in like 1,500 shares, very small. Added some more here, and I got myself around 4,000 shares, around here. And then the goal was to, I think my average came up to like 370 at that point, so I was still risking $4. So I was risking about 1R. And then goal was to add as 350s failed. So you can see my executions, added some here, added a little more, on CARX as 350s came down, got a little pop, fell, thawed through. 9 a.m. opened up. I think a lot of the Robinhooders probably sold there at 9 a.m. and it was going well. I scaled it well. I was managing my risk. Obviously, as I got in these ads, my risk was no longer $4, right? You gotta adjust your risk as you continue to add. So instead of risking 4, I had like a 5-10 cent risk now. Eventually, my risk was, break even as we started to fail. So I'm in control, right? I'm in control. That's the great thing. You don't want to be full. That's the great thing about being in, full size when you have a nice little cushion to you, right? You have some, flexibility, and you let it ride, right? So that's what I was doing. And goal was 320s. This was really fast. I wasn't able to get covers. I wasn't able to cover into that. And then this is where the mistake happened, right? Morning opened, right, and 320s was my goal, and I was covering, but I ended up covering it all, so I fucked up. I covered it all there on CERX. 280s was my goal, and it hit it, so a little unfortunate. But what can you do, right? Covered it all. Still a 3R trade. I scaled it well, managed my risk well on it, and yeah, that was really it. I mean, hit 280s, and it's been kind of going sideways since. So, it was a good trade, right? I knew shorts were all squeezed. Demand, really peaked out this morning. If I didn't see bids and I saw volume was weak, goal was to scale in, versus the level, and that level happened to be $4. Confirmed that my thesis, right? 350s broke down. I added some more, 320s, and then 280s on the rest. So it was a good trade on CRX. Happy with that trade overall. CAPR feel like I could have, did a little better on this one. I could have, scaled a little bit better. I don't know why it's not loading. But yeah, that's really it for this recap. April has been, some of my best trading of my career. Really excited, going forward, to see what what can I do for the rest of May coming up. So definitely exciting. If you guys haven't, check us out. We offer a 7-day free trial. Links down below in the description. And that's gonna be it for this recap. I'm out. Peace.